Welcome, everyone, to Remember to Breathe. My name is Natan. I'm the founder and executive director of Alliance for a Viable Future and the author of The Tao of Movement Building, as well as my other book, Climate Leadership. And in this weekly meditation, what we do is I read one chapter from The Tao of Movement Building, which is my interpretation of the great classic, the Tao Te Ching. And we're now in our fourth week of meeting for this weekly meditation. So I'm grateful that you're here listening to the recording, and I really appreciate your presence. The vision is to grow this weekly meditation into an opportunity for people to drop in to that center point within them for their well-being, their connection to source, to remembering your purpose in the midst of the chaos and overwhelm that is out in the world today, especially, in this day and age. So we're going to start here reading chapter 4 of the Tao of Movement Building, and then we'll go into the meditation experience from this guidance that we receive. So here it is, chapter 4. Replenish yourself in the mystery of the old age-old lineage of ancestors who have kept the movement alive so you could be here. It is older than time. Let go of the present conflict, the knots in your mind, and bathe yourself in the voices of the wisdom keepers. This quality of listening brings forth the guidance and insight for doing non-doing, the right thing at the right time for the right reason. Trust, listen, allow the doing to take care of itself. I'm going to read it one more time. Chapter 4, The Tao of Movement Building, Listening to the Heart of Systems Change. Replenish yourself in the mystery of the age-old lineage of ancestors who have kept the movement alive so you could be here. It is older than time. Let go of the present conflict, the knots in your mind, and bathe yourself in the voices of the wisdom keepers. This quality of listening brings forth the guidance and insight for doing non-doing, the right thing at the right time for the right reason. Trust, listen, allow the doing to take care of itself. So, welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I invite you to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and connect to this guidance here to replenish yourself in the mystery of the age-old lineage of ancestors who have kept the movement alive so that you could be here, so that we could all be here. I'm going to close my eyes too, and I'm grateful for your presence. I'm grateful for the breath in my lungs, in my belly, grateful for my feet on the ground. And I want to invite us to reconnect with the old growth trees. This is the vision that has inspired me for the last 20 years. The old growth trees, rooted and creating peaceful, deeply wise, awe-inspiring forests, forest ecosystems. Just taking this moment to imagine those places, the redwoods of Northern California, which had a huge impact on me, walking through them just for a few days of my life 20 years ago. I invite you to be in that place with me, remembering a time when you were in a forest that spoke to you. And we can imagine ourselves as one of the trees. When you come upon a tree in the forest, that its presence, its size itself, when you have to bend your neck back to look up and see how tall it is, how amazing and mouth dropping these beings are, truly a trunk of a tree and the branches that stretch out. And then to imagine, and there's times when maybe you have actually seen and felt the roots of a tree. And I've heard that the roots underground look the same as the branches. So they stretch just as far as the branches stretch under the soil. The difference is the roots are connected to the mycelial network in the soil and even connected to other trees, redwood trees, I think aspen, many different species of trees actually don't grow individually, they grow as networks. And so, taking the inspiration from this chapter here, we can imagine connecting deep into the roots, the taproot of our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, all the way back as far as we can imagine. You can even think about the creation stories that are most meaningful to you in your cultural wisdom traditions. Myself growing up in the Jewish faith, I can think of Adam and Eve and Enoch, these ancient names all around the world, the cultures that our human family comes from all have original peoples. So we can connect to those original peoples here, our ancient ancestors, and then the wisdom that has been passed down sitting around a fire, quiet conversations between a father and a son, a mother and a daughter, a mother and a son, a father and a daughter, all of the love that's transmitted from generation to generation. And then, in the same way, the people who have struggled for freedom, for liberation, for a better life for their children, those who have had the courage to lead movements for justice, for equality, for a greater sense of humanity, expanding the sense of humanity in cultures where there was a limited sense of who even is human, who has the right to a free life that has changed over time. So we can draw strength, in these times when those things are being threatened, the rights that we thought we had are being threatened right now. And that brings up all sorts of feelings inside of us. And so we're coming together here in this weekly meditation. Remember to breathe. Remember that we are alive here in this moment. And in our aliveness, there's a chance, there's a choice to see the pathway forward, even when it doesn't look like there is a path, when it's just pure bushwhacking. And then we can create the path when we need to. We can allow the path to reveal itself to us when we're rooted in our connection with our ancestors, with the courage that it took for them to take the steps that they took so that we could be here today, the struggle that they made. We can draw strength and say, hey, they did it. We're doing it now. We're staying alive. We're staying human. We're connecting with one another. We're building these relationships. We're holding on and linking arms with one another so that we can do what needs to be done for the children. So, this opportunity right now, taking this moment, taking this moment together, it's an opportunity to remember our connection with the ancestors and with the deep intelligence and mystery of all of life, our human family, the whole web of life here on planet Earth, Mother Earth, and then also the deep mystery of the expanse of the universe and all of the dimensions of the universe, not just physical. I'm talking about the magic and the mystery of synchronicity, of telepathy that is now becoming more and more apparent in our world, especially in these times. These are the sixth sense. These are the supernatural capacities that we need to begin to lean into, because without them, we can lose our balance more easily. So we're looking for the things, the taproot, what can really root us so that when we fall, when we lose our balance, when we feel overwhelmed, that we can come back into this center point of remembering that there is still an intelligent, conscious, caring fabric of life. And then when we notice it in our own lives, wow, that was a miracle. Wow, I'm grateful for the simple things and the profound things that happen. And I acknowledge when they happen. It amplifies that feedback loop within our own lives. And in the midst of the turbulence, the chaos, the news that we see, things that are happening in our communities, relationships that we have, people who are going through challenges, and we need to find a way to respond with care, compassion, showing up, being of service the best that we can, taking care of ourselves at the same time, taking care of all the responsibilities when we're connected to the love and the realness, the authenticity, and we feel those feedback loops that life is aware of me. I'm aware of life being alive, but life is also aware of me and my presence here. And there's a relationship. Just like in the forest, I can send out signals through my roots and say, hey, I'm doing okay. How can I help? Or I might send a signal, hey, I'm in distress. I need some micronutrients that the mycelial network can then provide for me. This is the energetic ecosystem, and then the relational cultural network that we need in order to get through these times right now. All of us, I need it. I'm grateful to those of you that are tuning in right now so that we can utilize this time together for ourselves, but then also think about the people in our lives that we're being revitalized here in this moment. We're revitalizing, we're rejuvenating ourselves, reconnecting with our strength, our well being. So then we can show up more effectively for others. So I'm going to read this chapter 4 again as we are dropped into this deep connection. And before I read it, I want to invite you again to imagine yourself as an old growth tree with the roots connected to all of the people in your life who you love so much, you care about so much, who inspire you, who you really need in your life. You're really so grateful, that when you are connected with them, it gives you that strength to move forward, that reciprocity of energy, of inspiration, seeing what other people are doing. It gives you strength. And then other people feel the same way about you, what you're doing in the world, how you're showing up, doing your best to be human and to allow your natural gifts to move through you in all the ways that you do. Just being yourself. So we can imagine this energetic, emotional, telepathic network, this interconnected root system of energy, of trust, of real relationships. And we're strengthening that right now. All of the people that you're connected to, the people that I'm connected to, we're creating this relational mycelial network, this ecosystem. We're affirming it that it already exists. People all around the world, here in our local, regional, national, at every level, we're connecting to the people who are holding the prayer for peace and sanity, intelligence, wisdom, care, and love for life itself and for the future generations, so that things are going to be good. Somehow, some way, we're going to stay focused on that. Even if we lose our balance, we're going to hold each other up and be stabilized ourselves by this interconnected root system. And then we're offering this energetic structure to everyone who's not here so that there's a feeling of stability that ripples out from this meditation. Chapter 4, the Tao of Movement Building. Replenish yourself in the mystery of the age-old lineage of ancestors who have kept the movement alive so you could be here. It is older than time. Let go of the present conflict, the knots in your mind, and bathe yourself in the voices of the wisdom keepers. This quality of listening brings forth the guidance and insight for doing non-doing, the right thing at the right time for the right reason. Trust, listen, allow the doing to take care of itself. So I invite you just to take one more deep breath. And may this time that we shared together be a reset for you. And when you get off this meditation live, Instagram, YouTube, Zoom call, that you are able to move slowly and notice what has shifted for you, what is more clear, what guidance and insight is now present. Maybe you're going to take a moment to write something down that was clear to you before, but now you feel your quality of being different, that you can actually engage it with a deeper presence. Or maybe there's something new, a new insight, a new perspective, and you can harvest it from this meditation, for the good of your next steps, the right thing at the right time for the right reason. When we're more aligned, those things happen more and more. The right thing at the right time for the right reason. So thank you so much for being here again. And I want to also direct you to my weekly podcast that is on Spotify, the Natan podcast, and to also consider joining the Deep Roots 2026 cohort regenerative leadership for change makers in the Northeast bioregion. So you can learn more about that on our website. The short website tag is avf.earth, and that'll take you to allianceforaviablefuture.org. Just avf.earth. So thank you again so much, each of you that has joined and stayed with this meditation. And I'll be here next week to do it again, Tuesdays at noon. There will be a couple in December that we'll have to do a different day, and I'll let people know. You can also register for these calls and join the Zoom uh, on our website on the events page. You can get a Zoom reminder, and I'll be changing certain dates you know, if I'm not able to do a Tuesday here and there. But thank you again and have a beautiful rest of your day.